So I'm still in Denmark, and over the past few days it's been quite difficult. There's been a lot of rain, and yeah, that was not good, not what I planned for. In the next couple of days it's going to be better, so hopefully I can go out and do some more photography, yeah, today, tomorrow and the day after. But yeah, sunrise, okay, 3:30 a.m. going out of bed this morning. Ridiculous times, and with ridiculous times you're going to make mistakes, so I am making this video on my phone. Why is that? I just totally forgot to take my video camera. So of course I have my stills camera here, the System OM-1 Mark II, but I just got the video camera out of the bag at home when I was attaching the microphone. So I just stepped out of the car here and I'm like, where's my camera? Yeah, of course, it's still at home. But let me show you the spot that I am right now, because this is the perfect spot to try something new that I have been using over the past few weeks. So in front of the camera here, I've got a new ND1000 filter, and I had one little square plate earlier, but somehow I lost it. I seem to have lost a lot of things over the past year, or I loaned it to someone during a workshop and forgot to return it. I have no idea, but I just can't find it. So I was in desperate need of a new ND1000 filter. And if you're watching this channel regularly, you know that I'm not a big fan of using filters, especially the G&D filters. I don't use them at all. So I often take an HDR shot, which I think is much more pleasing than using a G&D filter. And of course my camera is already equipped with a live ND and a live G&D filter. But the only filter that I was missing was this big stopper, this ND1000, and the polarizer. And I had polarizers for a 62mm lens at the front, but not for my bigger lenses. So yeah, I definitely needed something new for that. And so I got this, and let me get it off for a second here. So this is the KASE KW Revolution magnetic system, and it's actually really good. And I'm always a bit skeptic about magnetizing filters, because I'm thinking, doesn't that fall off your camera, you know? And this is the ND1000 filter, and I also had a polarizer. But if you've seen the videos recently on this channel, I'll put a little clip up here. I was out with the polarizer a couple of weeks ago, and somehow I just didn't connect it right, or I did something wrong. I don't know what it was, but I dropped it and the glass broke. So completely new filter wasted due to a lack of my experience with it. So just test it at home, know how to use them. And yeah, the biggest thing is that this magnetism is actually really strong. So you don't have to be afraid of dropping it. It's actually quite difficult to get them off the lens, you know. And there's one thing I was thinking about. Maybe they should have made, let me show you right here. If this is the front, I thought maybe they should have made something like this, that you can hold your fingers to get it off. But a big disadvantage from that is that you can't use it with a lens hood on. And of course I'm not using it with a lens hood on right now, because I've got a small lens with a big filter on. And that is, for me at this moment, it's not a problem. But if you're for example at waterfalls with lots of spray, water drops coming up, a lens hood can be really handy. And if you have a filter that is the exact same size as your lens, without any things sticking out of it, you're still able to use your lens hood on this filter. So that is definitely an advantage of this system. So it's very slim, very thin. So if you're wondering why I took the 92mm, so this is a very big filter. It's actually very simple. I am expecting the big white beast back within a couple of weeks. I actually got a confirmation mail from OM System that I was receiving a new one to loan. You know, as an ambassador, it has some advantages, and one of them is that I can loan stuff like that for longer periods of time. And they were quite happy with how I showcased the first one that I used, so they immediately got a new one when I had to return that one. So as far as I know, it's actually on its way to me in the Netherlands right now. So that would be a nice surprise when I get back home and I could pick that up again. So what I really like about this filter is, because of that size, I can use one filter on all of my lenses. And of course I can't use the lens hood when I put it on the smaller lenses, but especially with the polarizer, and I'm hopefully going to get a new one. I have to check if it is insured, but it's quite an expensive system. But it works really good. And the polarizer, as far as I tested it, it was a really good polarization. I have polarization filters that I used and that I was thinking, I don't know, there's some color cast to this image, the color of the image changes, and I just really didn't like that at all. I'm going to take a picture here while I'm talking to you. 10-second timer here. I have to step off this little bridge that I was on, this boardwalk, just to make sure that there's no vibrations here, because I'm taking a 60-second exposure. Why? There is a little bit of a ripple in the water, and I want some movement in those clouds. You know, those clouds are coming by pretty fast, and we're approaching sunrise at the moment. Let's have a look. Yeah, sunrise is in about 10 minutes, so hopefully we will get some nice light up there. But as you can see, there is a big cloud here where the sun is rising. I think the sun is rising about here. So yeah, hopefully this is going to work. So I've got a 60-second shot in. This is a pre-sunrise one. So let me show you the result here. And I just like with this ND filter that it doesn't affect my original colors. Now, I did some testing at home in the garden already, so I know that this is a real good one. And also when I look now on the back of the camera, it's just a really nice color to it. So what you have to be careful for when you're using a big, thick ND filter like the KASE one I'm using right now, is that you have to dial in all your settings before you attach this filter. You know, it's very difficult to get the focus right when you're using a filter like this. So always put it in manual focus, and I changed the composition a little bit now to a portrait oriented shot. So I'm only using this pier here, portrait, with those clouds above there. So I focused on the end of the pier, just right here. And now I've set all the settings right. I am putting the filter on. I can lower the ISO a little bit to get a longer exposure. So I want 60 seconds, so I'm going to ISO 200 now. And you can see why this filter is so useful at the moment is, if I wouldn't have had a filter like this, I could never get these long shutter speeds like I'm doing right now. So 10-second timer, just walking away, let the camera do its thing. So this is the shot, long exposure, 60 seconds, portrait one with the KASE KW magnetic system. So I am facing one problem here, mosquitoes, you know, and I have my Flextaile tiny repeller underneath the tripod there, as I've been doing in the last couple of videos. But every time I take a long exposure, this boardwalk is moving a little bit. So I have to put on a 10-second timer and walk away from my camera and step off the boardwalk here. But the problem that I'm facing is when I walk away, those mosquitoes immediately attack me when I'm out of that circle that's created by the tiny repeller. So if you're interested in that device, make sure to check out the link underneath this video. There's a discount on it if you use that link, or use the offer code GUIDO15 on their website, and you get a 15% off that collection on the website. But it's definitely working, because the moment I step out of that circle, it immediately attracts mosquitoes to me. So the camera's finished, so I'm quickly getting back into my safe zone here. So you can see that I repositioned myself. I found a different boardwalk with all these boats, and I'm actually trying to use this as a leading line towards where the sun is rising. So the sun is finally up from above those clouds, and what I thought would be fun to try is to take a panorama here. So I'm just trying to shoot a giant pano from left to right with all these boats here, including the ones here in front, in my frame. But I have no idea if that is going to work exposure wise with long exposures. I'm using the AEL button here to get the exposure and the light in the image the same from the left to the right. So everything is manual focused. But yeah, let's see how this turned out. No idea if this is working. So I'm taking all these shots in 3 steps of lighting. So I've got a panel of, I think it is 7 shots. I'm shooting it at +1, 0 and -1, and then adding all those shots together to get one giant panorama with all the dynamic range that I need. So hopefully this is going to work out. And if there's one thing that I've noticed about this KASE KW magnetic system, just look at it. There's no sun hood on it or anything. I'm shooting straight into the sun, and there's absolutely no sign of flare here or whatsoever. So that is a really good thing that I really like. So yeah, definitely a very good quality glass filter. So I haven't seen the results yet, but until now, what I'm seeing on location, I can highly recommend this filter. There's one thing about those magnetic filters that I want to mention that is really handy, is that you can stack multiple filters together. You know, they're all magnetic, so if you have a polarizer, you can just put it in front of the ND filter and it will just have the exact same magnetic power. So really nice feature, stack them together. You can get all kinds of different filters and they all fit the same. So you have to buy the same size, but if you have the same size, you can just fit them all onto one filter. Real handy toy to use as a photographer. So I found another nice boardwalk over here, but this boardwalk is facing towards the side of the lake over there and not towards that open space where you can watch much further. And just next to here is another one of those boardwalks, as you can see, and that one is facing that direction. So I'm gonna walk around, get to that other boardwalk, see if that has a bit of a better vantage point. So I walked a little bit further down this lake. I was on the other side earlier, just around the corner there, and I walked all the way over here and I found these two boardwalks here next to the lake, which have a pretty nice view over the lake. And if you look over here, right on top, there is a small building, and that's actually the MK/I. So that's where I recorded the video about 2 weeks ago or last week. I don't know when I'm gonna release this one, but it just worked really nice. And I don't know about this view, if it's the right view, but with a this ND1000 filter, the fun thing about that is actually that you can photograph longer, even when the light is up pretty high. You just need to have some clouds that are moving to create some sort of atmosphere in an image. And right now there are some clouds up there, but they aren't moving that much, so you don't get the sense of movement in your images. But that's the fun of this. If you don't have a filter like that, and there is no sunrise, like this morning there are only clouds, then you're just done. You can go back home, there's nothing to photograph then. But by using a filter like this, you can create movement in an image, and that just keeps the fun in it, you know. Even without a sunrise, you have just another opportunity to create something really nice. So yeah, that's what I did, and I actually took another one of those long exposures here earlier of this shot that I just showed you with that yeah, MK/I mountain thing on top there. And I think this will be the end of this video, so let me show you this video and then we'll wrap things up as it is. So sorry, this image. So this is the shot that I just took, and yeah, let's see what the result is. So this is the end of today's video. I hope you liked the images and this location here in Denmark. At least I was happy to be out, even when there wasn't such great light this morning. I did enjoy the time here, you know. It's something different, something we don't have in the Netherlands. I don't know much areas with boardwalks like this that are really nice. Those boats, it is in the Netherlands, but not where I'm living in the Netherlands. So really nice. And I'm actually really enthusiastic about this KASE revolutionary magnetic filter. So this is the ND1000, but they have all kinds of different filters, like the polarizer that I dropped. So yeah, sorry about that. But before I dropped it, I did take a couple of images, and the quality of the glass was just amazing. So I think this revolutionary kit is absolutely worth looking for if you are interested in buying a set like this. So you can use an adapter here, like this one. So this goes from 72 to 95 millimeters, and you can even get an adapter on this one to fit it on your smaller lenses. So I've got one for the biggest possible lens that I can buy on this Micro Four Thirds system, and so I can use this filter on all my lenses except for the 7mm, because that's not because of this filter, but the front element is just such a bowl shape that it doesn't take any filters. There is a special kit available that you can put on and then put on these filters, but I don't have it yet. So might look into that, might be interesting. So yeah, definitely something to look at for if you're interested in a magnetic filter like this. And the funny thing is, when this filter came in, it's actually in a really nice box, and on front of that box was an image from Adam Gibbs. And you know, everyone gets his inspiration from somewhere. Hopefully you get some inspiration from watching my channel, and I got some inspiration in the past from watching Adam's videos. So a very good photographer slash YouTuber, lives in the western side of Canada and just creates amazing content. So it was real nice to see that his image was in front of the box where this came in from. So yeah, nice little extra. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I hope the quality was good enough using my phone. Hopefully next time I will be able to take my video camera out and don't forget it. But yeah, I have a couple of days left here in Denmark, hopefully with some nice weather, and yeah, that would be nice. So thank you, see you next time, bye bye.